What is up, gang? So recently, like last week, I went on a little like toy hunt, first one for a while because I've been busy with work and everything. And I just wanted to show you guys kind of what I got. I was pretty happy and excited with what I got. So first off, the first thing I got was this little guy right here. And I thought it was kind of cool because this was in a $5 bin. Now this is Titanium Series 2001 RID 2001 Optimus. And honestly, this thing is really not bad. Like, people really shit on the titanium figures, but for them being like licensed to another company, and another company, as far as I understand it, another company outside of Hasbro and Takara made these and like made the transformations and everything. I think they did a pretty good job, honestly. Like, most of it, it feels good. It feels solid. You know what I mean? This one's solid, at least. I know some of the other ones are very shitty, but this one I think is actually quite impressive. So that was pretty cool. And I got that for $5, so you can't go wrong with that. And I've been kind of wanting to get the HasLab one, as some of you might know. And I just thought that this might be a little nice way to own that without actually owning it. So anyways, here's HasLab Optimus. So then the very next store we went to after that, of course, they had the fucking HasLab Optimus Prime, which is just super, super funny to me because when I found that, $5 one, I was like, oh no, I finally kind of own a version of him at least, you know what I mean? And then, yep, they had him at the next store. So I got the HasLab guy. I got the rest of the parts over there. Ultra Magnus is in parts right now, but here's the base just to kind of prove that it's the actual HasLab one. And here's the box. Now, if you see that price tag, you'll see it says $400 fucking dollars. I did not pay that. I paid like $350, but I traded something in, so it was only like $310. But it was still a lot of money. And I just knew as soon as I like when we went into the store, I was like looking around. They had a really big selection. It's a pretty cool toy store. I don't know the name offhand, but we were like looking around or whatever. They're like a pretty big toy store. I thought it was really cool. And then I look up and I just see this box. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to buy it. So yeah, I bought it, and yeah, he's pretty cool. I do have a little bit of gripes with it, but honestly, he is pretty cool. I wouldn't recommend paying so much for it. I'd say like $200 would be like a very comfortable price for this. I mean, honestly, $250. Honestly, it justifies $250. I'll say that it justifies $250 because it's basically like two commanders, but they're like big ass commanders with like display bases and a bunch of other stuff. I think it does justify like $250, but I don't know about, once you get into like 300s, it gets a little bit dicey as for whether it's worth it or not, but I think it's pretty cool. Then I saw this, and this is kind of neat, kind of unique. This is the Street Fighter Transformers crossover. Now I got this for $25. It's pretty cool. I really like the box display like aspect of it. They look really cool because I mean, what other like box display is there where there's two guys fighting or whatever, like specifically for Transformers, I mean, I'm sure they've done it for other stuff, but I think that's pretty unique and cool. Then I got a combiner. I'm just gonna run through the members. So first we have Cyclonus, and I bought this combiner for like $100, so you'll kind of see how this adds up or whatever. So first we have Combiner Wars Cyclonus. He's complete, and honestly, I think this mold actually really works really good for him. I wasn't expecting it to work so good because obviously this is the Aerial Bot Silverbolt mold, you know what I mean? And this mold was used, a million times. But I honestly think it works pretty good for Cyclonus because I was expecting it to pretty much be like 1-to-1. The retooling really, really does make it feel like a different figure, you know what I mean? And it really does look like Cyclonus. I think they did a pretty good job with that. Then we have Combiner Wars Off-Road. He's complete as well. He's pretty neat. I don't know. Kind of shitty that they released this as the mass release and not Wild Rider all those years ago. That was kind of a shitty move on Hasbro's part, but whatever. Here's probably the only two that I'm going to keep right here. So these were the arms on the combiner. But this is Dreadwind and Blackwing. So these guys are pretty cool. These guys are from Power of the Primes. I was looking to kind of track these guys down for a while. I just didn't really want to overpay for them because I knew I would feel like I spent too much if it was like $40 for both, you know what I mean? I definitely wanted to get them for cheaper than that. So I got these two, and I mean, by the time I end up selling everything else, every other part of this combiner, it'll pretty much just, equal 2 free figures. So I think that that's pretty neat. And I mean, they are pretty fun on their own. They're decently cool. They're probably the most unique variants of this Combiner Wars jet mold. You know what I mean? They're definitely probably the heaviest retools of that. Then this is you know, really the main draw that I saw in this combiner. You know, I'm sure some of you don't even know what this is, but I saw this as the leg, and instantly I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to buy this thing, because this is Unite Warriors Breakdown, Zombie Breakdown, and this was a 5-pack exclusive combiner set with actually the same, you know, Cyclonus but in different colors, but you know what I mean. It was like called Grand Galvatron or something, but this is an exclusive and he's quite rare. So I mean, this guy pretty much almost on his own covers the cost of like the entire combiner, you know what I mean? So it is pretty cool, and just to kind of own this thing, just to say I owned it at one point even, is kind of cool, because it's like a super, as far as I understand, it's a super like hyper rare, you know, box set exclusive from Japan, and it's kind of cool to own part of that, you know what I mean? Then this one's pretty exciting. I saw this guy and I knew I had to get him. This is MMC Stellaris Promenade, or Star Convoy. So I was really going back and forth on getting this guy for a very long time. You know, I just didn't want to overpay for it. Star Convoy's never really been like my absolute favorite design, but honestly, this thing looks fucking badass. But unfortunately, when I first got it, I'm sure a lot of you guys who have experienced this thing will know this, but the knees sucked ass. They just would collapse under any pressure, even like setting him down on like a table, he would just absolutely fucking collapse, you know what I mean? So I had to replace, I mean, it comes with it. I think every version that you buy would come with it, but it's like the sliding rail mechanism on these legs, and now you can see it's tight as shit, but yeah, so you can see that. And yeah, originally it just wouldn't really lock there, you know what I mean? But I don't know, I still just don't like the sliding rail bit of it. I don't like sliding rails, you know what I mean? That's common, but that's, I don't know, not great. And then the last little thing I bought the other day, it's the new Studio Series Volkswagen Bumblebee. I paid like $30 for this, which I kind of regret. I don't know, it's not like he's bad, but I just wish I wouldn't overpaid. I did own the other Volkswagen Bumblebee mold from Studio Series, and this, I mean, you can definitely tell that this one is better. But I mean, it's still got a little bit of jank to its transformation and everything. It's still not the funnest figure to mess with, but he is an improvement. So I mean, that's really all that matters, but it's still not perfect, and it's still not really exactly what I want. But you know, I have a little Bumblebee shelf downstairs or whatever, so you know, this guy can go on that. So other than that, thank you guys for watching. I was trying to wait on one more thing that I have coming. I'll just do a separate unboxing for that when it comes, but I thought it was supposed to come like 2 weeks ago, still hasn't got here, so hopefully it gets here eventually. Thank you guys for watching again, and I'll see you guys later.